Hey, what's up, guys? I decided to make another video, this time on The Dangers of My Heart Season 1. First off, I'm wearing the same shirt from the Inuyasha video because I'm filming this a few hours after that. This video has to be under 15 minutes because it is uploading right now and I can't delete the file. But I just finished this and I wanted to talk about it, basically. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but this was really good. I gotta say, I got the steelbook, mostly because the regular version didn't come with the slipcover, and that would bother the fuck out of me. And also because this was a pretty good deal on Amazon. I mean on Walmart.com. It was like $40 to get it completely, and I think it's like I forget how much it is online, but it was like 60 maybe or something like that. But anyway, so I've heard about this, and I was like, okay, let me check it out. And for the first few episodes, I was really like, man, I don't know. Like, the way that this show starts, I think really made me feel like, I don't know, like I don't know, like, it's hard to explain. I think that they get a lot of, like, the mental health stuff right, because I'm pretty fucked up myself. I've never really thought about killing anybody, but, you know, I have a lot of, anxiety and depression and stuff like that, and I think certain points really hit home how realistic it was. At first, I thought there was gonna be something traumatic that happened to him, like, that made him kinda fucked up, and then it's kinda revealed that, like, he's had a normal life, he has a normal family, and all that, and so it's just, like, something, you're kinda born with, which is how it goes, and that was, that I did like how they did that, but in the beginning, they start off and it's like, I don't even know if I can like this guy, right? Like, he's kinda creeping around, he's doing all this shit, and, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill her," whatever. I feel like that was, like, kind of I don't know, like sorry, um, it's kinda, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it was weird, unnecessary, no, but, like, I don't know how maybe they just wanted sorry, my eye is, like, really itchy. They just wanted a reason to care about for that him to care about her in the beginning, and then like for it to turn to love, like whatever later on. um but the show in the beginning, it's just him. You're just seeing things from his perspective, and you barely see her. Like, it's like she doesn't give a shit about him at all. Like, which, I don't mean like in a bad way. It's like, if you don't know someone, obviously you're not going to be talking to them and stuff like that. And seeing him, I can't remember what episode it was. It was like 2 or 3. Like, I was really, like, thinking about, "Oh my god, I wasted my money on this show." Um, that, they start to get that mutual relationship, they're friends, they both kind of, fall in love with each other, and I think that it was done really well, and like I said, the mental health stuff really, I think, makes it something different. Um, especially that scene, that episode where he imagines that, like, she wants to, she used him to get rid of that guy who was, like, that pushy guy. That was something where it's like, yeah, like, I get that. Like, it's all the, like, just the doubt and shit pushing down on you on, like, anything, right? So I felt like that was done really, really well. And then Yamada, I loved her. Like, she started out, I wasn't sure what to think about her, and I ended up really enjoying her character. And, she's this bubbly kind of airhead, not completely out of it, but she's got her own stuff going on. And I thought they were gonna use some tropes that they didn't end up using. One was like, I thought her mother was abusive. They didn't do that, especially like after she gets her nose broken. Oh, that was it too. Something like I thought was gonna be fucked up in the beginning because it's like the dude like jacks off to her or something. Like, I mean, like, it's like a teenage boy thing, I guess. I don't know, but not jerking off, just jerking off to someone personally. But it's like I thought, like, for really, this is fucked up, but I thought for real he was gonna take them bloody tissues and jack off, bro. But he's not he's not that bad. Like he's not as obsessed with murder as they first make you believe. Um, and that's good because that's really the only way you can like the character. He's like, and he turns out he's not a bad guy. He has his issues and everything like that. But from where he starts to where he ends is a completely different thing. And I think that like I said, it's really, really well shown. It's when you see things from his perspective, which is how you see them all the time. I think that like the cliches of like the like how they both like each other and they like won't admit it, that kind of thing is like, I get his perspective like for a while where it's like, okay, like she couldn't like someone like me, but then it's like towards the end it's like, bro, she feels something for you. Like I feel like, you know I would kind of like that would be known. But like mentally I could also see it being like, just like this anxiety thing where it's hard to talk to people. Like I have a really hard time talking to people in like regular life. I can't really start a conversation. I can't do anything like that. So it's like a part of me gets it, but part of me is like, you have this person there who cares about you, um and you have feelings for her, and I just feel like you can kind of tell that she has feelings back. Also, I think another part of it, which I also agree with, is like like at the end when he has those not visions, but like of the guy from the manga, and he's like, all these people could make you these things could make you Yamada not like you because he's like obsessed with murder and stuff. Like I guess just like, but they turn it away from actually killing people to like regular shit. So, but I think that's something pretty big too, where you're like, they won't accept me because of this, because of that. Um, I don't know. Like I don't know how you would kind of tell tell Yamada that's like how it started with her. Like that's kind of something where I don't know about all that, but it's like I said, it's a very it's somewhat relatable is what I'm saying. And just the romance and the girl, like how she's like kind of like on the date episode where they basically go on a date and she's like talking for him and doing all this stuff. It's like that's exactly what what I would be like. And like obviously, like I know it was a date. Like that's something that annoys me a little bit. Like if it was more like, because it seemed like she's like, he's like, oh, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way, and then he kind of like accepts that there is a way, but he's like, I'll admit it someday. And that was something where I'm like just fucking do it already. But it's one of these animes, but they still just got a good relationship. Um, for side characters, I gotta say, there's no one I really like that much. Uh, like Kanada, whatever. Her best friend. She's all right, but I didn't really like her that much either. Uh, I just felt like she was kind of weak, not as a character. Like she had her own thing going on, but it's mostly focused on Yamada and the fuck's his name? I don't even know if I've said his name this episode. Uh, let's see. It literally does not tell you. Okay, that's cool. No, it has this on the back, but it's just like not about the show. Anyway, I just felt like it was focused on them, and that's good. That's where it should be. But none of these characters were particularly um, likable or character like like where you're like, oh, I want to see more of them or something like that. Like I like the chubby girl, can't remember her name. She's nice, whatever. And then that guy who's like, who likes her, who likes big women. That was pretty funny. The regular kind of pervy guy, which every every anime has to have. He's all right. Like once again, like yeah, he's a perv, but he's like so like ridiculous. Like this is, like I said, more realistic than most. I want to say like most rom com animes. Um, they there's no like well, there's like the change in the faces and stuff, but there's no like crazy violence and oh, this guy got knocked down and she, I don't know, shit like that. So it was like, the guy's not too crazy. Like, yes, he's a horn dog, but he's not like assaulting people or doing shit like that. So he was all right. Something that I think was weird is just in that group, where he's kind of like, oh, they're bullying me, like, oh, the bullying is gonna start. I felt like it was kind of weird that there were no bullies, um, throughout the entire thing. Like, I feel like that would be a big part of why he's kind of fucked up, is because he has this bullying thing going on, but like that's not where they go with it. They have the one guy who likes Yamada, but he doesn't give a shit about her, and who's kind of trying to get with her, and he's a creep, but then they kind of like act like at the beginning, like, oh, he's not all bad, that's why you can't hate him, because he took the bike out of the river. But other than that, like, there's no real like antagonist. And I don't even mean that like in a like a real villain type way. I just mean like an asshole, someone who's like treating the guy like shit, who kind of pushes in those stereotypes and makes him feel like what he thinks about himself, and like how it's not possible for him to be with you. Like, I wanted some outside pressure, basically, like, um because that's kind of how it is, like they see him with the prettiest girl in school, they're doing all this shit, and none of them is like saying like, oh, what, you like, because like I said, like, they don't treat Yamato like shit, they just kind of like ignore him, and that's kind of what he wants. And while that's good, good, I mean, not Yamada, the main guy. While that's good, I feel like it's not that realistic. Like, people be treating you like shit. The schools have tons of bullying, and I just think that it was crazy that we had no one like that. But other than that, like I said, I mean, I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because it's already him working out, like, like going forward with him trying to, realize he can you kind of be normal, and he can fall in love with this girl, and he has emotions and shit like that. So I think that that was kind of good in a sense. I don't want to like say, I'm just thinking up ideas, like, because I don't want to say like, oh, it was bad that they didn't do that. I'm just wondering what they could do, but they also did have him mostly like pushing on himself, which is how it goes. So I mean, I guess you didn't need to anything really past that. I'm just thinking like realistically, like it's kind of you have the loner kid in class. Like, that's not really how things go if you've been if you've been in school. Um, but yeah, so like I said, really good chemistry, really good connection between them. This actually has a season 2, so I'm excited to check that out. Don't know about a season 3. I don't know if I'm gonna buy the season 2 set, because it doesn't come in a beautiful steelbook like this. Um, I like, if it came with another steelbook, I definitely get it. But I just, it once again comes with no slipcover, and that bothers the shit out of me. Um, so yeah, like I said, good anime. Please let me know what you think of this anime in the beginning, because like, I mean, throughout it, but especially the beginning. Like, when you first started watching this anime, were you like, oh, this is great from like part one, or did you take a few episodes like I did to be like, okay, this is actually good? Like, him and Yamada have a connection, because like the first few episodes, it's basically just him stalking her, like, kind of. I don't know if you can hear that. It's a car, very loud. But yeah, so other than that, there's not too much. This comes with the notebook. I don't want to pull it out because it's gonna be hard as fuck to get back in. But I don't know if this show is still on Amazon for like $40. I'd pick it up though if it was, because this is a good show. Like I said, But yeah, I'm just really curious, because I haven't had a show where like I watch a few episodes and I'm like, okay, I'm in a while. Like, it's usually like I'm in from the beginning, or I'm just kind of like done, basically. But it's been a minute, so this show was kind of like I was really worried, like, oh shit, I wasted my money. But then this show just hit after hit after hit, and it's something. It's something different. It's something special, I think, and I think it's a really good show. and I think there's some stuff, you can relate to with it. If you have some of these problems, um, like, not really thinking about killing people. Like I said, that, like, I mean, I don't know. Everyone has different mental health things, you know, intrusive thoughts and such. But anyway, so yeah, this is a good show. Check it out. I don't know uh, when I'm gonna upload season two, but this is it.